Hey everybody, what's going on? It's Ted here with you. It's Wednesday, January 6th, 2021. So, today, as they were certifying the electoral votes, the U.S. Capitol building was stormed. A couple people got inside. It was really just a handful of people. A bunch of people were outside on the steps. There was one person was shot dead inside the Capitol building. Vague details. There was actually several people injured. Pence and Senator Grassley were whisked away, and all others were evacuated. All of the lawmakers were evacuated. And these handful of people actually held the building for a little bit. They held the grounds outside the Capitol for a while, but the push stopped right at the doorstep. So they also found multiple explosives, one supposedly at the Republican National Committee, I guess, main headquarters. As this is going on all over the country, there was pro-Trump protests going on at many places: Michigan, Georgia, Kansas, Washington State, Oregon. So this was going on around the country. But when I first seen it, let me just hit these key points of things you guys need to know. Protesters supporting President Trump stormed the U.S. Capitol, causing Congress to suspend the proceedings to confirm the election of Joe Biden as president. Protesters freely roamed through the Capitol complex, including the Senate chamber, where one man stood on the president of the Senate's chair and shouted, "Trump won that election." So, like I said, it sounded there like protesters freely roamed. That's not exactly true. It was a handful of them inside. A group of them, anyway. I shouldn't say a handful. It was a group of them inside. They got inside. The rest of them didn't get past the door. Vice President Mike Pence, who had been presiding over the count of electoral college votes, was rushed out of the Senate as the complex went into lockdown as Trump supporters began breaching the complex. Pence and Senator Charles Grassley, the president pro tempore, were taken to a secure location. So basically, it's pretty much everything I told you. They stormed it. A couple people got inside. Most people got held back. They were at the door and on the steps for a long time, hours even. As of now, it's said that it's all been cleared. They're ready to open it back up. They're ready to go back in for the vote. The Capitol secured hours after pro-Trump rioters invaded. So when I first watched this, I'm thinking, this could really be something here. This could be the start of something, especially when that small group got in. And then when the rest of the group just stood on the stairs, it was like, oh man. And at first there was even somebody out there. They had a little message going. They were saying, all the political criminals need to pay, need to go on trial for their crimes, and no more vaccines, no more masks, and all about freedom and constitutional rights. But that slowly devolved, and it was really easy to tell that there was no leadership. And they could have pushed through that door if there was any kind of leadership. And this is more what I was hoping for. I mean, if you're going to go all the way down there and make it all the way to the door, why stop there, right? They could have made that pushed through, took over the Capitol. Maybe they would be sleeping in the Capitol tonight. Who knows? As of right now, the mayor of D.C. has put a curfew. Everybody's supposed to be off the streets by 6. There's still people out there, obviously. Who knows how they're going to handle that? As of the recording of this, they haven't really said what they're going to do with those lingering protesters, which it's still a pretty good amount of people, but nothing like it was earlier. There was huge amounts of people out there earlier. And like I said, they took over the Capitol, and then now it's been secured. After all of that, I'm actually a little bit let down. I thought this might be the beginning of the revolution that I talk about. I'm not one to advocate a violent revolution as of right now. But like I said, they could have pushed past that door, slept in that building tonight, and woke up tomorrow figuring out how to negotiate, threaten to take over more buildings, and negotiate to get whatever it is they're looking to get down here. You want Trump to be president? Start taking over the infrastructure and demand it. as American citizens that you don't believe the vote? Or what the hell did you go there for? Just walk around. I mean, I get the protest, but why storm the gates just to stop at the front door? That didn't really make much sense to me, but so be it. It went on. Everybody's cleared out of there now, except for a few lingering, like I said. And as that's going on, Georgia was swept by the Democrats. So basically, like I told you in the video last night, the Democrats now have complete control of the Senate. Really, it's 50-50, but Kamala Harris makes up the deciding vote. So they now take full and total control, and that should really pave the way for Biden to have an easy time passing any laws in legislature that he wants to get through. He's going to have total control with his party. And like I said last night, you have Biden coming out saying if the Democrats win, the first thing that's going to happen is he's going to send out $2,000 checks. Schumer, as soon as this thing goes down just a couple hours ago, first priority in the new Senate is $2,000 stimulus checks. So you're probably going to be getting more money. If you haven't received it, the $600 stimulus has been sent out. A lot of people have received it. Some are probably still waiting. If you're going to get it in the mail, you're probably still waiting. Most direct deposit people have received whatever the money they're going to get. And now we're not even 30 days into the 2021, and they're talking about your next check coming, $2,000 checks. So this is pointing more towards what I've been telling you is universal basic income. So a lot of people obviously are behind on their bills because of this whole thing that went around. It closed down everything. There was a moratorium on throwing people out. Those people can use this $2,000. This is going to be a lot more helpful than that $600 for sure. I don't know if it's going to fix everything. That's why you get UBI, because you're going to need more. And once you start, it's just like the stock market. When they started quantitative easing and printing money to keep that thing pumped up, they can't stop or it all falls down. Same thing's going to happen with this. But if you can afford it, if you're not one of those people who desperately needs that money, but this money's really going to make life a little easier for you, take a chance. And if you're planning on saving this money, instead of putting it in the bank or something like that, put it into something that's going to hold the wealth for you. Because the dollar is not looking really good right now. Things like gold, silver, precious metals, cryptos, those assets like that are right now maintaining value much better than the dollar. And that would be a way to protect the value of your dollar. Because every second that goes by, your dollar is worth less and less as they keep printing and printing. And you can rest assured they're going to give you this 2,000, they're going to have to print to get that one out. And really what we're doing is, like I told you last night, stealing that from our kids and our grandkids so that we can have it now. So if you're going to spend it now and steal it from your kids, at least invest it into something for their wealth as well, generational wealth, like precious metals. So hopefully everybody will get that check. If you obviously the first thing I would say is food. If you haven't already done that right off the bat, you need to go out and secure yourself a plan and store some food and the staples that you'll need, because we're seeing a lot of things that would make you say there could be shortages, or if there aren't shortages, if these things that we need are on the shelf, they're going to cost a lot more money. So you got New York City issues an urgent warning for people 75 plus. The state is awaiting the results on 3 tests for the UK strain that's going around. And this is what you need to know. The more contagious strain first detected in the UK has now been found in New York. The case is an upstate man in his 60s with no recent travel history, and authorities are probing more potential cases. It takes about 44 hours to do a genetic code sequencing on an individual sample to identify a variant. State officials say they are looking at 3 potential other cases in upstate New York. Meanwhile, New York City health officials are issuing a new warning to people 75 and up, citing concerning case growth rates and more disturbing numbers on hospitalizations and deaths in the last 30 days. So following right along, once again, like I told you last night, the UK timeline, they're starting to give you the warning. There's most likely going to be more lockdowns. They're issuing an urgent warning if you're 75 over. This one, and they don't want to overwhelm the hospitals. But at the same time as this going on, and they're trying to fearmonger, you have Florida. Okay, Florida, as we know, has done away with all lockdowns and mandates for masks. They have none. But their hospitalization rate hasn't gone up. It matches the 2020 hospitalization rate, and all of that matches the same rate as 2018 for the flu. So I'm just going to read you a little bit and show you this graph, the numbers for yourself. Despite no lockdown mask mandate, Florida has the same hospitalization rate at 2018 flu season. Okay, we're being told that our liberties must be suspended in order to keep hospitals from reaching an apocalyptic level. But what if those levels are just above normal and not anywhere near apocalyptic? And what if these lockdown measures do nothing to keep the levels down anyway? Well, if there is anywhere we can cross-check this hypothesis, it would be in Florida, where there's no lockdowns and no mask mandate. In fact, we are flocking there from out of state to enjoy vacations and host conferences and even to live. Naturally, we'd expect hospitals and levels to be bursting at the seams. If they rise and fall with lockdowns and masks, right? Well, actually, you can barely see an increase in the hospitalization level in the Sunshine State from previous years. And the current levels appear to be on par with the 2018 flu season, which was more of a pandemic flu than in other flus in recent years. And in 2018, we did nothing as a nation to suspend liberties. Nothing. So, comes down here and it gives you the numbers. I don't know if you guys can see it. These are all the numbers, 2017, 2018, 2020, quarter by quarter by quarter. And if you look right here, let's just blow it up. Oh, that's not that great. Okay. Anyway, the numbers are not very high. And Florida has no mask mandate. They have no lockdowns. As a matter of fact, the governor of Florida has stated he will not lock Florida down again. And right here you have evidence why we shouldn't lock down this anywhere in this country again. Right there's your evidence. You have year by year for the past 3 years, and it hasn't gone higher than the flu pandemic. I mean, common sense tells me that we really don't need these extremes that we're going to, and it's a matter of control. Now, with that being said, I am a conspiracy theorist, so there is this new variant going around. Just be careful. I'm not saying to believe the fear porn, but don't be stupid either. That could be part of the plan to get your guard down with the nonsense narrative, and then to bring the real deal at you when your guard is down and you think that it's all nonsense. Now, I'm not saying that that's a fact. I'm just saying use your common sense and do what's right for you, what you need to do to stay safe. Anyway, guys, I'm going to get out of here. Remember, don't be scared of this stuff. Get ready for it. Prepare. Let me get a thumbs up, subscribe, and I will check you guys out tomorrow.